What's good, guys? It's your boy Amafx. On today's edition, we are going to review the trades I took last week. So last week was pretty much good. I thank God for last week. We made 592 pips in profit. I think we took about 9 trades. Okay, 5 of them failed. Yeah, it's part of the game. 5 of them failed, but 4 of them smashed take profit. So, and plus minus, it was a good week. Plus minus, it was a good week. So, but one funny thing happened. I trade basically 3 pairs: gold, USD and USOIL. Guess what? Out of the 4 trades that smashed take profit, about 3 of them were from USOIL. So I don't know. I feel so comfortable trading USOIL. So yeah, we are going to review the trades and then we'll see what happened, where I got it right and where I got it wrong. Of course, in trading there are no rights or wrong. It's just decision and the way sometimes. Sometimes you don't need to be wrong for the market to actually act funny. Let's hop onto the screen and then see for ourselves how the trades went and the thought process behind the trades. Okay, what's good, guys? So it's your boy once again. This was a trade. I took this trade on Monday. So I took this trade around 10:30 a.m. Now a couple of things are wrong with this trade. One, there is no volume. The London volume wasn't strong enough. As you can see, there were a lot of indecision under 15 minutes. You can see it around here. You can see how the markets were just going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down around this zone. So there were lots of indecision in the market. So I took the trade, and obviously I was wrong with the trend. Okay, I should be looking out for bearish movements, but I thought this market would continue to go up after I saw this candle or thereabout. So it continued downward and boom, it went straight down. So the next trade I took was on USOIL. Now this trade I took it on Friday. Okay, I took this trade on Friday, but if you watch carefully, this was my take profit. This trade moved for about, I was risking 22 pips, so it moved for around 46 pips. That is above, almost 1:3. Almost 1:3. I was looking at for 1:4. It moved my direction for almost 1:3 and then turned back. Now I know why this trade turned back. This has happened to me before. It was as a result of lack of volume. On Fridays, when you have your trades, sometimes due to lack of volume, it can really mess you up. So the direction might be there, but because of lack of volume. So volume is very, very important. So that hit me out. Now I saw that the prices was coming around that same keys. That's what I call keys. So I noticed also that under 5 minutes we are making a series of, if you watch carefully, notice that we are making a series of higher lows and higher highs. As you can see, we made this higher low, we made a higher high. Under 15 minutes we made a higher low, we made a higher high, we made a higher low, we made a higher high, we made a higher low. So I noticed there was a change of character here. Instead of us respecting this higher low, the markets flushed down and made a low. So I thought we were going to continue low. But what I failed to do was I didn't wait for my BVM. So I think that was why this setup failed. So these two guys were out of the equation. So finally we had this banger. So I saw an opportunity. I now noticed that the market was finally getting bullish, because after this we made another higher high, we made a higher low. So I noticed that we are now bullish. So I entered for this 1:8 and my TP got smashed. So we made about 8.6, 8.7% from this trade. Now this is where trading and the power of trading comes in. So I've lost 3 trades. Now I made one that gave me 1:8, so I'm keeping about 5 point something to myself. So this is the power of trading here. So yeah, so far so good. We keep going and see how the rest of the week looks like. What's good, guys? I took the trade on Monday around 2 p.m. and today while I'm recording this trade is Wednesday. So USD has been wasting my time. Man, it's quite painful. especially when you take a trade that takes so long to materialize, and at the end of the day it finally hits your SL. So the idea behind the trade was very, very good. It was just that it didn't work out. Probably the market didn't want to go my way. So we are busy having these higher lows and higher highs. Let me mark them out for you. So we're having higher lows, we're having higher lows, as you can see. So it was only natural for me to continue in line of the trend, and that was what I did. So this was a correction that led me to take this trade. The correction was around here. Let's zoom into a lower time frame and you will see what I'm talking about. So we'll go over to 15 minutes. You will see that there was this correction down here. So the market was, going up, and all of a sudden we came down to this area, and obviously we have been making higher lows and higher highs. So I entered for this trade. It went for about 1:2, I guess. Yes, 1:2.5 before it came back to hit me out. But that's just trading for you. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. So USOIL did magic yesterday. So my take profit was smashed. Same idea, we were making higher lows and higher highs. As you can see, we made this higher low, we made a higher high first, we made a higher low, we made this higher high, it came back and we made a higher low. The market made another higher high, and we came back and we made a higher low. So it was only natural for me to join the trend. So what I did was I waited for this correction. So already I've seen my BVM, so I waited for this correction down here. Now let me zoom into a lower time frame so you see what the correction I'm talking about. So the market started retracing back. After we had this indication, the market started retracing back, and obviously I saw my BVM under 1 hour, so I knew that the market has broken out, so it's now trying to correct a bit before it will continue in the direction of the trend. So I took this trade. It was about 1:7, and the take profit was smashed. This was the trade I took on Friday, the first day of the month. I mean, if I had known, I would have risked more on this, but yeah, it is what it is. So a quick one, we were making a series of under 1 hour time frame. Under 1 hour time frame, we were making these higher lows and higher highs. Higher lows and higher highs, as you can see it here. So we're making a series of higher lows, higher highs. Yeah, I can categorize this as a higher low. Now we made a higher high, we came back. We made another higher low here, as you can see. But something happened. This candle closed below here. It closed below this higher low. Okay? It closed below this one. Let me zoom out a bit again. Why I took this trade. Another candle, this was the next higher low. Watch what happened. Another candle broke out and closed below this second one. And if you know my strategy, I work with what I call the BVM. This was a high low, higher high, and instead of us to make another higher high, a higher low, and then a higher high, we are trying to break these structures. So we first of all we broke this one, the market retraced up a bit, and then we now broke this second one. So I mean, this market was obviously ripe for short. So under the 1 hour time frame, let me check if 4 hours was no. 4 hours was a bit confusing. If we had waited for 4 hours, we would have missed this trade. So when I saw all of this, so what I was waiting for is what I call correction. So for this market to pull up a bit and then make some resistance. So, but anything below this point, let me mark it out. Anything below this point, okay, let me delete this. I can't even remember why I marked this. Okay. By the way, I'm recording this video on Saturday. So anything below this, anything price is doing below this point under a lower time frame, we are now short. Let me mark it out. So yeah, anything below here, we are now short. So anything below this zone, we are now short. So what I want to see is the market to do as if it wants to continue with this 1 hour trend under a lower time frame, 15 minutes or 5 minutes, and then I saw a smaller, and if I see a smaller BVM, then I know that we are right for sure. So when I zoom into a lower time frame, okay, the market is now obvious. Okay, the market made a high, made this low, the market made this low, Okay, it broke this low with this guy, so this is now a low. This is a lower high. It's a lower high relative to all of this. So the market at this point did as if it wants to pull up. But watch very, very carefully. Watch what happened here. Instead of making a higher high, the market slashed down again. Instead of making a higher high, it slashed down again, showing me that the sellers are in control. So I took this trade. My SL was a bit wide because there was NFP, so I know the prices might move crazily. But look at what happened. In just one 15 minutes candle, my take profit was smashed. So I was going for about 1:2 here, so nothing really crazy. So, but the take profit was smashed with this. So yeah, watch again. Anything below this point I marked out, price should be bearish. So as we broke out here, and then we pulled up again. In short, with this close of this candle here, we should be looking at for a bearish movement. What I would have done is that I would have reduced my SL to here. Yeah, I would have reduced my SL to here to make this a 1:3. But it's all fine. There was news, so that I don't get hit out. Yeah. So this was a win. This was a win. Okay, so we're out of this. This was one of the trades I took. Now moving to USOIL. USOIL really dealt with me this week, although I recovered all the losses I made from the trade I took on Friday. So this was on Thursday. Let me go over to the 1 hour again. When you look at this 1 hour candle, you will notice that we are obviously in a bullish market. The market was making higher lows and higher highs. As you can see, we made this higher low. We made this higher low relative to where we started. This was a low. Now this was a higher high. We made a higher low. I was thinking that, okay, since we are now in a bullish move, that we'll keep making lower highs, higher highs and higher lows. So, but I was mistaken, because at this point I thought the market was finally going to buy up. Although I didn't showcase a lot of patience here. So let me zoom out so you see why I entered that long. We're making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So we're making lower highs here. As you can see, this one was the first one. This one was the second one. So at a point, the market spiked up. So, and we now had this kind of a W here under 15 minutes. So I thought the market was finally going to buy back up. So yeah, that was just the mistake I made, and it's okay. It happens in trading. So, and the market hit me out. But I shouldn't have taken this second one. But the same thing happened. Okay, we broke this lower high here. At this point, we broke this lower high with this candle. So I thought we were going to buy up from there. That was why I took this trade, but it failed. Let me see if I would have avoided that trade. Yes, I would have avoided that trade, because when this happened, I should have known that, oh, probably the market wants to sell. I shouldn't have bought until we break this lower high here. But in any case, I lost these two trades. Then I now knew that the market was bearish. Okay, with those two mistakes, I knew the market was bearish, so I was preparing for this bearish movement. So the market started retracing up after it, even broke the left shoulder. This is what I call the official left shoulder. Although I noticed that there was a left shoulder under 30 minutes here, but I didn't really notice that on time. I noticed there was a left shoulder under 30 minutes here. So this would have been the initial point I would have started selling this market. But anyway, it happens. I've learned my lesson. So I noticed now the market was bearish. After we closed below this point, I noticed the market was bearish. So all I was looking for is for further confirmation to sell the market, and the confirmation came around here. If we go over to the lower time frame, you see that we were making lower. This was a low, this was a high, this was a lower high. We were just making an equal high here. So we were just making an equal high, but the market was gradually going up. Let me use a trend line so you see. The market was gradually going up. So it was at this point that we broke it. This was London session. So because of the news, the market didn't actually move much. So it was just ranging, making these equal highs here. So, but even though it was making an equal high, this small bullish trend was broken at this point. So this market was at this point ready for sales. So I took the sell somewhere around here, and to be honest, I made a lot from this. Like, I made a lot from this. I really made a lot from this. So this was actually around 1:4, but I used a very heavy lot here. I used a very heavy lot, one of the highest lots I've ever used on oil, 0.2. I maxed out on this trade because I knew it was going to sell. Something in me was telling me, Francis, this guy is going to sell, and it actually did. So at this point, I took my first profit. I closed about 0.15 lots. I closed around here. Then the remaining 0.5, I closed the second one around here. All right, yeah, this was it for this week. A very crazy week, but we can't complain. Yeah, peace. Thank you guys for watching the video. I truly really appreciate. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the energy. I appreciate the love. I see those of you commenting on the comment section. Help me to grow this channel so that we'll keep winning together. Amafx. Peace out.